Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Goshen Prepping. A super important video. Kind of fun, too, by the way. And you need to take notes because when it comes to real world prepping scenarios, it has to overtake all those rumors and wives' tales. And there's tons of them, by the way. People have certain numbers they come up with and such. And again, write notes with this, or you know what? If you have the Ninja Prepper Binder, I already made a sheet, which you can go onto the website I've given you to be able to print this out too. But here's how it works. You ready? People always give you things like, the numbers of threes, right? When it comes to prepping you can only survive 3 minutes without air and 3 days without water and 3 weeks without food, etc. And I'm not saying that's not true, but there's more to it than that. People who just say those numbers aren't really preppers. They're just memorizing numbers. And I'm going to give you the real details about these because, you may be able to go 3 minutes without air, but good luck with that after 30 seconds or 1 minute because, on this one specifically, panic sets in, doesn't it? Have you ever done this, gone to a swimming pool? I practice this stuff all the time. I'm a nerd like this. How long can I hold my breath underwater? And if I hold my breath and just relax, I'm talking about maybe a minute, right? Definitely not 3 minutes, but maybe a minute before I start I got to come up. But if I'm swimming and moving around, it's going to cut it down to 30 seconds. So when people say, I can go 3 minutes without air because some prepping channel said this, I don't think so. Because whatever's stopping you from getting that air is going to put you in a panic. And we're talking about literally going unconscious in a matter of seconds, especially if it's something like, drowning or maybe smoke inhalation or some type of airway blockage. That panic will turn it into just a few seconds, like 10 seconds before you go unconscious. Don't listen to those numbers. 3 minutes without air, good luck with that. 3 days without water, sure. But by the end of the 3 days, you're probably going to be a slug on the ground because after 24 hours, and I'm telling you as a doctor, you're going to have fatigue and headaches. Then after 48 hours, confusion, definitely not making rational decisions. Then after 72 hours, you're going to have 72 hours, 3 days, you're going to have some serious impairment. You're not going to be thinking straight. By day 2, you're pretty much useless. And then you die the worst of deaths of just horrid dehydration, vomiting death too. Yeah, you're not going to make it 3 days without water. Good luck with that. 3 weeks without food. Same thing. You may be able to go for a few days, but after a few days, your energy is going to tank. Your strength will be next to nothing. We're talking about in a situation during a time when crap hits the fan, you need energy more than any other time. Well, I can go 3 weeks without food. No, you won't. Yeah, you're going to be useless. You're going to be like a blob on the floor, basically, as death is approaching. 3 weeks, never going to happen. You're going to be practically non-functioning. But there's a whole bunch of other ones too, by the way. Lots of other ones. Like this is my favorite one. I've got my cell phone and I've got a solar generator to keep it going for days and days and days. But understand, if the grid goes down, your cell phone may have power. In fact, if we're talking about an EMP, your cell phone will still work. But those cell towers, even if they survive such an event, we're only talking about maybe at the most 8 hours of backup. 8 hours. So you're saying, well, it's good because I get my cell phone for 8 hours. I can, call mom and say, I'm not going to see it for a while, mom, because the grid collapsed. No, all the circuits are going to be shut down for you. It's only going to be emergencies. And that situation, even then, you're going to have a hard time too, as you'll see in a few. Hospital generators, people always think hospitals are going to be there. Do you realize that most hospitals only have enough fuel to last up to 4 days? That's it. It's just 4 days. But then critical systems get priority. ICU, operating room, etc., while the other ones don't. Fuel supply is not going to happen. And after a few days, they're going to triage and then it goes dark. And at that point, of course, there's no hospital. There's not really going to be much there because all of our modern medical equipment depends on power and electricity. How about this? An EMP, by the way, it's a wives' tale. It'll take out your car. That's what people say. That's not true. Study after study after study shows even modern cars, 95% of them will still run after an EMP or a coronal mass ejection. They'll still keep going. That's a wives' tale, but that's not the wives' tale. Who cares? You have a car? Yay, my car still runs after an EMP. Gas stations will not. If the grid goes down, gas stations don't have emergency backups, and you're not going to be getting gas for it. So that's not going to happen. So forget about having fuel for that car that may still run. Grocery stores have 1 to 3 days of inventory, right? Just-in-time supply method. No, they don't. For some reason, a grocery store today just stops getting food. People will still buy the food there the last 3 days. They'll go to another store, but in a grid down, it's going to be gone in hours. Even if the store is shut down with a grid down, People are still going to get the food. That grocery store is not going to be there, certainly not for 3 days. Municipal water. We'd like to have water coming into our house. That people say, oh, hours to a couple days. A couple days, they'll still get water. People at least get this one right. Fill up your bathtubs and jugs fast. Because here's the thing, what people don't get is as that municipal water system starts going down, the last of it is the worst stuff. Once the pressure starts coming in, then contamination risk skyrockets. So even if you're still getting water after that day, it's not any water you're going to want to have. All right, human performance numbers. This is my favorite one. We'll talk about especially sleep. So lone wolf preppers, this is for you because you're not going to be sleeping with one eye open. You will be sleeping with one eye open, and it's going to have catastrophic events on you. 24 hours with no sleep, you're going to have cognitive impairment that's very similar to, well, being drunk. That's interesting. We've all done that, pulling all-nighter. The next day, you're kind of like you're not worth anything. 48 hours, just 48 hours, by the way, you're going to have severe focus issues, and your emotions will go crazy during a time that's emotional anyway. Emotional instability. After 72 hours, hallucinations. This is when the stuff really kicks in, and decision-making is in the toilet, and you will make major dangerous mistakes constantly. Something to think about, because you think, oh, I can go a few days without sleep. We're talking about in one of the most stressful times with marauders and everything could potentially come into your house. You're going to be wide awake. And even when you do finally get some sleep, you'll be like staying awake all the night anyway. So keep that in mind. Having some kind of prepper community where you can go shifts, that's the way to go. Hypothermia. People think, oh, I can actually deal with it being cold outside, 50 to 60 degrees, but our body loses heat very easily, by the way. And that's why we have lots of layers. That's why your blankets keep you nice and warm. In just an hour, even if we're talking about 50 degrees, hypothermia can set in. You don't have to have, and here's what people think, freezing temperatures will do it. Freezing temperatures will not do it. I mean, it'll be really fast. But any type of cold environment, especially if it's a moist cold, wet and windy, you're in big trouble. It's not going to last long. Financial numbers. Nobody wants to think about this one. Most Americans can't even cover $1,000 in emergencies without some kind of stress. Right now, especially with inflation and wages changing, it's really tough, isn't it? If we talk about a collapse, let's forget about it. But right now, it's estimated. You ready for this? Hold on to your seat. This is not me saying this. This is just stats telling you that Americans should have, it's almost laughable, $10,000 in emergency funds just in case something happens. I know, don't kill me. I'm just the messenger. Good luck with that one. So any type of emergencies, that's why we're in such big trouble, because it's hard to be able to, get back on top again when something catastrophic happens. We usually jump to credit cards, but obviously in those situations, credit card may not happen. Police response time. Let's say the typical police response time to your house is 5 to 10 minutes. In a major emergency, I understand it's average, but in a major emergency, it's going to be delayed or even unavailable. That's even if you can get through. You cannot depend on the police coming to you. You are, and this is so scary, all alone. You may not have anybody coming to your help. Again, having a prepping community at a time is really good. And that note, people always say 911. We always take it for granted. It always works for everything. But that depends on these cell towers too. All the phone circuits themselves overload quickly, and you literally may not even make a connection to 911 if that does happen. All right, next, FEMA. Our lovely FEMA tells you to have 72 hours of supplies, 72 hours of food. I think most families have 72 hours of food in their house, probably. Doesn't really matter though, does it? Because after that 72 hours, when it's all gone, it's not even simply just saying, oh, look, my pantry's empty. I wonder if I can get a canned corn from my neighbor. No, it's, oh, my pantry's empty and chaos is happening outside as the grid went down. It's not coming back for a long time. And I haven't had news. And there's people out doing this and this and this and this. No, that's where all the stuff comes in. It becomes very dangerous. And a hungry neighbor is a dangerous neighbor. That's a good motto to have. All right, we're going to end off with some very, very interesting points, and especially with notes on this one. Listen to this. If we talk about evacuations or people leaving the city or fleeing the city, people think that they can go 6 to 12 hours driving. Okay, I think 12 hours is what most people think. I've got my car with the gas tanks and stuff. I can go 12 hours. I can probably go on the back road 50 to 150 miles. Then when I get to the old country dirt roads, I probably can go 10 to 20 miles. People literally think this. This is what most people have. In reality, the highways are going to be jam-packed. You're not going to get 6 to 12 hours. You'll be lucky, in my opinion, to get 2. Because you'll sit there everybody's evacuating, everybody's fleeing. And, I've had to not flee, but when I moved from Florida, a hurricane was coming in. I just happened to be moving out during that time it was chaos for hours, just trying to get out away from the city. And we're talking about just a hurricane. I'm not knocking the strength and severity of hurricanes. I'm not saying that at all. But we're not talking about a major situation where the grid goes down. This is people leaving saying, oh, this traffic's awful. Let's stop over at Denny's and get a burger. Then we'll get back on the highway in a little bit. Oh, look, that gas station's open. You have to wait in line. No, we're talking about there is no Denny's. There is no gas station as people are fleeing the cities for their lives, not just because of a hurricane. 2 hours max. Go ahead and carry all the gas with you all you want. That's not going to help. And if we're talking about the back roads, people think 50 to 150 miles, but guess what? Everyone has that idea. Oh, the back roads? That's perfect. Let's hit there. And GPS, especially like Waze, will route people in that direction because that is less crowded than the highways, but it's going to be just as bad. You'll be lucky to get maybe 40 miles on those congested roads. And then you get to the dirt roads. By this time, you're probably walking. People think, I can walk 10 to 20 miles a day. Right. Right now, the average person under stress, you're looking at maybe 12 hours. What happens if you have kids or maybe an injury or kids with injuries? 5 to 8 miles if you're lucky. After 2 to 3 days of this, you're going to be exhausted. That's on top of carrying food and water and looking at all the chaos around and everything that's going on. So these numbers, we really have to look at it. They're very hard hitting because understand right now we think of these numbers, and here's where the problem comes in. Prepper channels talk about this all the time because they just hear what somebody else says and don't give expert opinions on it. This is no panic right now. I can normally go 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, as they've never tried to do that before. For me, I try to hold my breath for as long as I can in a swimming pool, but people are get comfy and cozy and they just want to say, oh, everything's good. But right now we have no panic, no crowds, good health, no obstacles, no chaos, no stress, all those things happening. We have to look at what happens at the worst part of these times, not the best, and prepare for that because prepping is what we do. All right. What else would you add to this list, guys? Because reality paints a very scary picture when it comes to all these things that will happen in the world if that crap hits the fan. And all these wives' tale numbers that people say are simply not true. Now, again, if you own the Ninja Binder, I have this page on there that you can print out and add to your binder. Beautiful. You can always pick up your binder too. It's linked below. But put it in the comments below. What would you add to this list? Because people really have this skewed, oh, everything will be just fine view. And that's simply not reality. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.